G'day everyone and welcome to the round 21 AFL fantasy wrap-up video. And yeah, it was a pretty solid week for my team this week. I scored a nice 2350, which moved me back inside the top 1k to 867th overall, which is a good result, and hopefully I can remain inside the top 1k to end the season. That's definitely a goal of mine at this point. So looking back at the trades that I made going into the round now, and they were Karmas down to Teakle and Keys to Mills. Now, I was going to trade out Rioli, but I ended up trading out Keys instead, as that forward role that he played last week was a definite worry of mine, and I just couldn't afford to waste a midfield spot, particularly at this stage of the year. And yeah, after seeing Keys score a 45 in the end this week, it was definitely the right decision. So looking back at the team now, starting in defence, Jack Sinclair, 88. He was okay, and I'll definitely take that score from him in what was a difficult matchup down in Geelong. Sam Doherty, 101. He was great. Another awesome score from him. Jordan Dawson, 97. He hasn't quite been as dominant as he has been of late, but yeah, a 97, you definitely take that. James Sicily, 101. A much-needed ton from Sicily this week after a lean last month or so well done to him. Jack Crisp, 99. He saved his score with a massive final quarter. He was huge in that game in the end for the Pies, so hopefully he can build some confidence off that and have a strong finish to the season. Daniel Rioli, 93. I ended up keeping him after I did plan to trade him out all week, but yeah, it was kind of a last-minute decision to trade out Ben Keys instead. But yeah, I was pretty happy with Rioli in the end. He scored well, a 93. What was, I thought, a tough matchup against Port Adelaide over in Adelaide. So yeah, he did pretty well. And look, I actually might even keep him for the season now. As yeah, kind of not sure. There's not too many defenders setting the world on fire, and I do want to make some moves in my midfield, but yeah, we'll see what we'll do there. On to the mids now. Zach Merritt, 55. He copped a heavy tag from Perryman throughout that game and just couldn't fight through it, unfortunately, so definitely unlucky to those who may have captained him this week. Jack Steele, 92. He was a little disappointing, I thought. He started pretty well, but just had an average second half, so yeah, a little disappointing this week from Steele. Touk Miller, 88. He was another one who copped a heavy tag this week. Finn McGuinness from the Hawks did a pretty good job on him, and McGuinness has taken quite a few scalps so far this season, so I'd definitely be wary of anyone facing the Hawks in the next 2 weeks, especially if you're considering looking to captain someone against the Hawks. It's probably a bit of a risk now. Callum Mills, who I brought in this week, 89. One of the main reasons I brought him in was because he had a nice draw coming up, so to only score an 89 against North is, not ideal, but I'm confident he goes big against the Pies next week. Andy Brayshaw, 109. He was pretty good, and it didn't seem to be a huge scoring round from the midfielders this week, so I'll definitely take that. Jack McRae, 101. At least he scored a ton this week, McRae, but yeah, he still isn't in great form, and yeah, he's actually someone who I might consider trading out this week, to be honest. He's kind of wasting a midfield spot for me at the moment. Lachie Neale, 117. He was fantastic, Lachie Neale. It was nice to see him back to his best this week. Christian Petrarca, 120. I was absolutely wrapped with him once again. He's been a very nice pickup for me over the last couple of weeks now, and he's definitely proving to be a nice point of difference for me to finish off the season. On to the rucks now. Rowan Marshall, 118. He was awesome once again. It definitely helped that Blitzarves and Segler were both laid outs for the Cats, so he definitely took advantage of it. And yeah, like I said last week, he's just a fantasy gun whenever he plays as a solo ruck. Max Gawn, 152 times 2 for me this week, which was the highlight of my round for sure. And yeah, I thought I'd throw the VC on him as a bit of a unique option, knowing that he was capable of a score like this. And yeah, it was definitely great that he delivered for me this week. And yeah, definitely take that big 150 score as my captain. Definitely played a huge part in me having a pretty good round overall and improving in the rankings this week. Now onto the forwards. Marcus Bontempelli, 83. Not an amazing score, but he's still going okay overall. Stephen Coniglio, 103. He was great, and definitely glad that I held on to him after he missed last week. And he could definitely be a nice point of difference for me now, considering many traded him out last week. Bailey Smith, 110. This is the type of score that I traded him in for, so it was good to see him deliver this week. Josh Dunkley, 109. He had another great game, and he's still spending a lot of time forward too, so He should keep his forward status for next season now, which is nice. Tim English, 100. Solid enough score from English this week. He has some nice matchups to finish the season too, so he should be good. And Will Brodie, 73. A little disappointing this week from Brodie, but I wouldn't look to trade him out, though. I'm confident he'll bounce back next week. So now talk a bit about what my trade plans are at this stage of the week, heading into round 22. And yeah, with only 2 rounds to go now, I definitely think I can have a bit of fun with my trades this week, be a bit more flexible, and yeah, not take them too seriously, I think. And yeah, unless you're in the running to win the whole thing, or you have a few leagues or league finals that you really want to win, I definitely think now's a good opportunity to, yeah, just have a bit of fun with your trades. Bring the players that you want to bring in, trade out some players who are frustrating it. Yeah, you don't have to take them too seriously, I think. So, with that in mind this week, someone who I could look to trade out is someone like Jack McRae, who has been frustrating for me all season. He just hasn't been the same Jack McRae has been in the past, and yeah, I definitely think now could be a nice opportunity to move him on. So, uh, the options that I could look at to bring in this week, Clayton Oliver, I think he's the best trade target of the week this week. He's still cheap, scored that 139 against the Pies, and yeah, with a Brownlow up for grabs, I definitely think he'll be hungry to have a strong last 2 games of the season, I think. So he's definitely the one that I'll bring in from McRae and the number 1 trade target overall this week. The other option, as always, that I do have, Daniel Rioli. I probably sound like a broken record. I've been mentioning him in my trade videos probably the last 10 weeks or so, but yeah, the options I do have, Angus Brayshaw would be the one, I think. Tom Stewart, he was a bit disappointing. He was tagged, but yeah, he's also another option. But yeah, I think at this stage I'm probably leaning to more towards trading out McRae, getting in that midfielder in like Clayton Oliver, I think. And yeah, that's what my trade plans are at the moment. Deciding between trading out McRae or trading out Dan Rioli. So that's all for today's video, guys. Thanks again for watching, and as always, much appreciated if you could like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what your trades are. I'm happy to give my thoughts on those, and yeah, just have a bit of fun heading into the last 2 rounds of the season, I think. And yeah, good luck in round 22.